Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are reviewing most anticipated game, Granblue Fantasy. It is a Japanese role-playing video game developed by Cygames for Android, iOS, and web browsers, which first released in Japan in March 2014. It is really worth it or not? Let's find out, but before we do, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Now let's jump today's video. After 8 years, Granblue Fantasy Relink has finally arrived. This title adapts Cygames' hit mobile and browser RPG for global console audiences and stands alongside the fighting game Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising as a strong introduction to the franchise. Granblue Fantasy Relink's development has been fraught with setback since its 2016 announcement, with 2019 even seeing a developer switch from Bayonetta creator Platinum Games to an in-house Cygames team. However, now that the dust has settled, it's clear that no development time has been wasted. Granblue Fantasy Relink incorporates every feature from Granblue Fantasy that it can, alongside a full single-player hack-and-slash campaign and an MMO-light multiplayer RPG. The result is 20 hours of painstakingly polished single-player, story chapters loaded with variety, and some impressive replayable content to keep fans busy afterward. With features accommodating casual and hardcore action fans alike, Granblue Fantasy Relink has something in it for everyone. That is, after a slow start. A thorough tutorial takes up the first hour as it struggles to give a strong first impression of Granblue's main cast without their browser game origins. Fortunately, optional Fate episode visual novels fill in everyone's backstories, and their strong personalities and dynamics build momentum regardless. The campaign goes on to impress, presenting a tight thrill ride through a corner of Granblue Fantasy skies, where plot developments and set pieces are never more than a few minutes away. As the story progresses, a monster hunter-like quest system creeps in. Granblue Fantasy Relink has over 100 quests to tackle with AI companions or groups of online humans, even if they also take their sweet time rolling out. The bulk of Relink's tough replayable content is in its post-game, and everything before then takes it easy on players who don't even have the game's full mechanical spread yet. Depending on a quest type, campaign chunks get repopulated with enemy hordes, boss fights, and more creative tasks like defending a point or surviving waves of enemies. Having multiple gameplay variations that feed into each other enables Granblue Fantasy Relink to cast the widest net possible. Casual appeal takes precedence, coupling set pieces and densely populated levels with side activities like treasure hunting, platforming challenges, or timed optional fights to ensure the story never gets dull. Relink isn't unlike Final Fantasy XVI in that respect, but there's a huge gulf between each title's RPG components. Granblue Fantasy Relink's quest design and progression borrow cues from Monster Hunter, but the playable characters directly challenge it. Despite their movesets being less complex than Monster Hunter World and Rise's 14 weapon classes, the difference is made up by Relink launching with over 16 Granblue characters able to equip different skill and sigil loadouts. Apart from the Captain and Catalina, the campaign's default 6 characters feel completely distinct, and they diverge further as players gain new equipment and progress down everyone's mastery trees. And multiple archetypes, each character can ensure that players will find the right style for them. A game built around fighting would all be for naught without good combat. But fortunately, Granblue Fantasy Relink delivers. Moving, attacking, and defending all feel great, even if the camera can be troublesome and the rare light. Platforming segments are hampered by frustrating jumps. Well-integrated QuickTime event. Link attacks that charge a party-wide power-up and skybound arts that can be chained together for elemental bursts sell the feeling of fighting in a tight-knit crew, even if every fighter also needs to focus on their own offense. Complete with helpful area of effect markers for both players and enemies, Relink has a combat system that can support a full campaign and the endgame loop it builds up. It bears repeating that Granblue Fantasy Relink is a huge game with overwhelming variety, and everything feels good to do, with held mechanics and a reserved party slot for the player insert captain. Lasts until the post-game just to mitigate choice paralysis, and more content is already on its way. Cygames has announced at least 3 months of updates, including an additional endgame raid boss, 2 new fan favorite Granblue characters, and more. It's unknown how long post-launch support will continue, but the infrastructure is there for it. Even if it doesn't last, the 2 characters alone will add lots of value to Relink's already stacked post-game. So what are your thoughts and what you think about this game? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gaming updates. Until next time, happy gaming.